You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Universal Traction Systems, Vantage Point Marketing, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Chiro Thin, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, and Everest Chiropractic Bootcamp. Let's hustle. Hey everyone, Jim Chester here. I have Dr. Matthew Norton with me. I am coming in from Grand Junction, which is in the Grand Valley on the western slope of Colorado, which I like to say no one lives here, and I moved here to hear the birds chirp. And Dr. Matthew Norton, you are coming in from the sunny San Diego, correct?
That's right, and I can hear a bird occasionally. I see a hummingbird off my patio, but this is not a place where no one hangs out.
So, Dr. Matthew Norton, welcome to the opportunity to share about what you do with Mindfluence Revolution and a little bit more fully on what the Chiropractic Experts Network is. And if you guys didn't know that this interview was about, we're going to discuss the Chiropractic Experts Network group that Dr. Matthew Norton has helped formulate and I'm a part of. So before we get into talking about Mindfluence Revolution and what you do, I'm going to flash your website up there so anybody that's interested in Mindfluence Revolution knows where to go.
And of course, everybody listening will want to do
that. And they'll have opportunity to work with you one-on-one with Mindfluence Revolution, or they can also join the Chiropractic Experts Network, which I see Janice Hughes is on. Janice, jump on in, comment to us. I know you've been on one of the meetings now, but thank you for being here with us. Zach Lujan, thank you for joining us. But Matthew, let's dive right into this and talk a little bit about why the Chiropractic Experts Network came together and what we're doing today.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate the opportunity as always. We had a wonderful conversation before the official conversation, so I always enjoy that with you. Chiropractic Experts Network, yes. I've been a doctor of chiropractic for over 35 years now, and the world is still not saved. And so basically the reason for the Chiropractic Experts Network is that the public still desperately needs the chiropractic message, needs chiropractors to be able to stand and deliver at the highest level and to have the most powerfully effective, rewarding, fulfilling contribution lives so that they can change the world, right? Well, having been a doctor of chiropractic all these years and connected, intermingled with so many other chiropractors, that is not necessarily my experience, that my fellow chiropractors have all of their cylinders firing and all the needs met, right? So we've got a public that needs chiropractic. We have chiropractors seeking to meet those needs, but having their own particular challenges for a variety of reasons we don't have time to go into. And then we have a bunch of people like me, like you, like the other members in the Dental Experts Network, like Roberto Monaco, who just popped on there, who are wanting to serve chiropractors, serve chiropractic, make a difference in the world through a collaboration, right? My feeling is, how can we be better together than what we would be doing individually? So the idea came that we needed something that could create a win-win-win. How can we, as people who are serving chiropractors, come together, share ideas, brainstorm, help hold each other accountable, create something that's bigger than the sum of its parts, and be able to impact the chiropractic community in a way that helps them change more lives. So that's really the purpose behind it. It was really a feeling that there was a need there amongst the various things that are offered into the chiropractic world. And I wasn't sure. I mean, Roberto was one of those people at first who was saying, well, why do, tell me what this is exactly. And I think we're still finding our way into what it is, mostly looking to each other to support and develop and brainstorm and share ideas and possibilities and opportunities that people are engaging in the world. But we're also finding ways that we can serve together, that we can do projects together, that we can, see a need and think, how could you and I, for example, collectively address that need in a way that from those two different vantage points is even more powerful. And so I'm loving that. And we're now looking at turning what we're all doing together and turning it to face more outwardly to the chiropractic community to say, okay, everybody doesn't need more content necessarily in this world, but they can use more guided strategy, certainly can use more encouragement and support and implementation. And I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talked about off camera is that what you've been able to do is get together a team full of all-stars, people that are first-round draft picks, if you will, and trying to get those people that are high-caliber producers and high-caliber leaders to learn how to influence with each other and work with each other and to tie this thing together to make a better picture for all of us. And, we all have these, superpowers and these skill sets that come together from different aspects of the profession. And a lot of people might not know this, but many of the people in the Chiropractic Experts Network group aren't chiropractors. So we're a lot of small business owners that are helping support the chiropractic profession and working within the chiropractic profession and giving advice from our vantage points and leadership qualities from our vantage points. So it's really cool that you were able to assemble such a great group of people to be able to help carry out your mission.
Well, thanks. And it is this kind of a big picture idea. Different people have asked me, well, where is it going? What's it going to look like when we finally get there? And I can't say that I fully know that, nor am I really free to determine all of that from my perspective. So I'm setting a trajectory, I believe, and trusting that my first round draft pick, to use your image, teammates here will support and kind of do something with me in that regard, and it's happening so far. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
So for those that don't know, how long have we been together as a team? How long have we been holding our monthly calls and meetings?
Well, I think it's probably been a year, I think now. Mm-hmm. I think just about that. Again, like we were talking about thinking styles, I tend to be a big picture idea person. And so it's not like I'm not good with numbers. I was talking with my wife earlier about that, but that tends to not, it's like, oh, has that been a year? I don't know. I think something like that.
So I guess at this juncture in the conversation, let's turn the page and talk a little bit about what you do with Mindfluence Revolution. I know that there's a huge component to that, and you work with Bruce on that. So let's share a little bit about what Mindfluence Revolution is and how it might be able to help or optimize other people that are interested.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bruce and I were talking a while back about a practice. What is it that makes a practice? That there's equipment there, there's a building. There's various things that are involved, but the thing that really makes a practice is people, right? And so the Mindfluence, kind of our wheelhouse contribution, is the human dynamic involved in a practice. Part of my passion, in this, I never really saw my work as somebody in my 33 years of owning a practice, sold my practice 2.5 years ago, loved it to the last day. And adjusting will always be in my heart of hearts, right? But my feeling is I wanted to be able to help thousands of people, help thousands to tens of thousands more people as a result of that. And my orientation is not so much towards the systems and processes as much as it is towards the people who are driving them. And one of the main things I've seen, I experienced personally, but that I've seen and heard from so many other people, is sometimes frustrations with patients not doing everything the doctor wanted them to do, thought they should do, team members who don't do everything the doctor wants them, thinks they should do. a community that doesn't respond like the doctor wants and thinks they should do. And so to me, it always comes back to who's the leader again. So leader optimization is really my heart passion. Who is this leader? What do they need to better understand about themselves? Where are their stuck places, their blind spots, their unproductive habit patterns? Where are they not? What's keeping them from performing at their peak? Where do they need a breakthrough? We use a Wizard of Oz metaphor that I came up with about a year and a half or so ago that's worked perfectly in terms of helping people clarify what is the Emerald City vision that they have. If from a owner, team, patient, and community perspective, what would be the win, the ideal? What would that look and feel like for the doctor, for the team, for the patients, and for the greater community when we arrive? If it's all, if it's all it could be, what would that be from those experience perspectives? And then where are the doctors and teams now compared to that? So it's like a GPS, right? Here's where we want to go. Here's where we are. What's the pathway to get there? The difference in that compared to Google Maps is that we need to know who the people are. Now, because Google Maps is not really saying, well, who's driving, who's in the car with you? That's going to determine the route. There's other factors, but I want to know, so I use assessments, right? So we're not an assessment company, but assessments are really at a foundational level in what we do so it can be personalized. Mm-hmm. If I don't know that leader, if I don't know those team members, then I don't know how to best guide their journey to get from where they are to that Emerald City. So we use core motivators, we use behavior style, we use emotional intelligence. We created a new flying monkey assessment to help to go along with the emotional intelligence to help clarify what's hijacking, especially from a human relationship standpoint, inside us or between us and others, what's hijacking our ability, our capacity to deliver it at the highest level. So that's a lot of my passion, is really leader optimization, team culture development, and getting crystal clarity on Emerald City vision.
And as you go through this journey and you work with the chiropractic profession, what do you like most about when you get people to actually adhere to your teaching and your systems after you discover who they really are? What's your favorite part about that?
Well, it kind of relates to my personal inspired message. One thing we do in My Influence is we help people clarify their personal inspired message, and then also their unique, compelling contribution. Why them? What is it that's unique and compelling about your contribution? What is it so that you're not just the best at what you do, but in the mind of that public, you're the only one who does what you do? And so my personal inspired message that I came up with years ago is that I provide insights and strategies that help set people free to live their best life. So when I can provide insights and strategies that can facilitate a breakthrough, when I can help somebody see something through the lens of their assessments that they didn't know about themselves, that I can facilitate a relationship breakthrough because now people are understanding each other's languages better, because we're all speaking different languages, right? The motivators, the behavior style, thinking styles like we were talking about earlier. These are things that cause people to not understand each other. Sometimes we just speak louder in our language, thinking the other person, if we just yell it louder, somebody will understand us. But it wasn't a hearing thing, it was an understanding thing. So for greater productivity, for greater collaboration, for greater outcomes with humans, unless you're going to be a solopreneur, but even if you're a solopreneur, you still have humans that you're serving, right? So what can you know about them? And you can understand more about motivators, behavior style, thinking styles of the people you're serving, the better you get at this, so that you can begin to tailor your presentations, package recommendation, when you relate your finding, what is it that these people need? How do you present that? Do you present that the same way to everyone? Or do you present it just in accordance with your style, regardless of what they need, how they need to hear it? So I think, it's the more we can understand those nuances. So when I can help bridge that for people, and part of what I also do outside of mindfluence, although it bleeds in, I'm starting to see this connection in everything I'm doing, is I do marriage coaching. And so my wife and I actually do that together, and we've had clients where it's turned into some of that. It wasn't my initial intention, but it's part of my passion for optimizing relationships. And I think there's always more that can be done. If people want to, as doctors want to take care of more people, part of their capacity to serve more people is what's within them. Where are they stumbling? Where is their emotional intelligence challenged? Can we help elevate that?
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Universal Traction Systems, Vantage Point Marketing, Imaging Services, Zingit Solutions, Chiro Thin, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, and Everest Chiropractic Bootcamp. Let's hustle. Then it's a matter of communication skill sets, et cetera, to be able to, and how to connect with other people. So all of that, whenever I can play a part in anything of that, just talking about it gets me excited, if you can't tell.
Well, what I think you do, Doc, is you unclog people's thinking processes. And, I didn't know, I kind of knew who I was before I did the assessment, and I'm a passionate promoter. And I think that like pegs me so well. Like if you threw a dart anywhere on the board, like on that map, it hits me perfect because I'm very passionate about what we do. I want to serve the chiropractic community to the best of my abilities and share this beautiful message and get it to more people. Just like you said at the beginning of the interview, the reason that this is essential is because after 30 plus years in chiropractic, we still haven't gotten to where we think that we need to be with public influence and with team building and with driving this thing home. And I know that, the big wins that you get, I love that, because when more people are winning and you have a hand in that, you can feel like, all of your life's work that you're contributing is giving people the best chance to network with you and get the best outcomes. And I think that that's what people really don't understand when they might need a coach, or when they might need somebody to look at it from an aerial perspective and see where the holes are in the future road and how we need to keep these from continuing. And I think that that's a really cool thing that you do. And with the Chiropractic Experts Network, bringing us all together and allowing us to get the assessments as well to know exactly what you do and how you do it, I think is really brilliant, because now you're uncoding some things inside of us to where we can contribute better, because now we kind of understand what our role is and what our strong suit is and what the hand that we have in front of us, how to best play it. So I think what you do is really important for people. And those that don't know, the website's down there, mindfluencerevolution.com. But let's come into the next question. I know we're coming up on the edge of our time together, but what does it look like when somebody works with you? I know that there's probably a lot of people that were like watching, nodding their heads when you're saying stuff, and they're probably thinking, how can they work with you and what does it look like?
Initially, it's a matter of connecting. We don't have a sales team. We've always kind of been proud of the fact that we really don't have a sales team. We connect with people. We provide value for people. Just like we've done for the fellow chiropractic experts. I love to do assessments with people. It's a wonderful starting place. And then we have a pre-call questionnaire that we call a business breakthrough questionnaire, where the person gets a chance to say, these are my challenges. These are some things that I would love to have a solution for. I'd love to have a breakthrough. And then we ask on there, what's their biggest desired outcome? What does that look like? And then also, what do they think the biggest obstacle is that's preventing them from getting there? So this gives a conversation, and the conversation is tied in through the lens of their motivators and their behavior style. Because again, there's a different solution for the challenges based on who they are, right? It can't be cookie cutter. It can't be like, this is always the solution for this issue. No, this is your likely best solution for this issue based on who you are. And to help you get to that dream outcome, to break through that obstacle.
To me, Matthew, it's kind of like uncovering people's behavior DNA and how to like say, okay, so this is your best way to approach life based on your conditioning with your behavior and your personality. And then we can start assessing what we can do to make you more productive with these kind of character traits.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. So you're very good at this role, Jim, because you listen well, you integrate the information, and you bring it back in a way that's kind of, from another angle that sheds light on it. You're very good at your interviewing role there. Appreciate that.
Well, just listening is something that I think that we've fallen away from as a culture. And we, like I said in the before chat, like we become too busy, and the beautiful skyline that we see becomes something that we don't pay attention to because we're too busy. Right. And we don't take pauses for ourselves to start realizing that if we don't take pause, then we don't appreciate. And then you have a leader that is chasing their tail, and I'm sure you've heard the old saying that if you chase two rabbits, how many do you catch? Neither of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So ultimately, then we have a conversation through that lens that I was just describing, and then sometimes people say, "That sounds great. I mean, that makes perfect sense. What would we do next?" And so typically after a couple conversations, people know if this is something that makes sense to them or not. And I'm always glad to do that and give value. I always give value first. And then people know, is this for me? Is this not for me? I don't ever feel like I'm selling anybody. The word mindfluence, the word influence is in mindfluence, or at least a part of it is, for a reason, because part of influence is offering an opportunity for people, right? Not really selling per se, but an opportunity to grab a hold of a solution that's in their best interest. So people know if this is for them. The typical place where we start as a foundational service provision is the creation or design of a business breakthrough roadmap. Also, we call it our yellow brick roadmap to the Emerald City, right? So we clarify what that Emerald City is. We clarify what their opportunities and challenges are from where they are now. We do assessments. We look at the whole team. So we have a whole package of things, and it's typically a 6 to 8 week process. And we deliver an official roadmap with an action checklist, a visual outcome plan that looks at a kind of a sequential prioritization that can be very dynamic in its flexibility over time, but it gives a plan. So we're not just jumping in and trying to, adjust some particular vertebra because the patient thought that was where the problem was. We're looking at the whole picture of this doctor and their practice, right? And being able to say, well, yes, T12 something is going on there, but it really is your atlas that is more of the foundation. So we'll address this, but we want to make sure we're taking the bigger picture into account and looking at that. Once we deliver the roadmap, people can then either say, hey, awesome, thanks, this is perfect. My team and I are going to work with implementation, or at that point, they can hire us for what we call our Quantum Leap program opportunity. There's different levels of engagement to say, we maybe are not going to get it all implemented at the highest level without some help. So that's opportunities for us to guide and support implementation with the doctor and with team.
I think what you're doing is really important. I think that people need to reverse engineer what's going on in their life and what's going on in their team's life to where they can engineer a better system to go forward in. And making sure that there's clarity in their systems and there's organization are probably the key elements to somebody being highly educated, to somebody being highly effective. And I think that you deal with a lot of highly educated people that would probably do well to be more highly effective. So if you can turn the chapter from becoming a highly educated person to a highly effective person, now we're creating a whole different dynamic for somebody to be able to live in their lightness and to live into their power and to be able to contribute at the level that they want to. So I think what you do is very valuable for anybody to consider doing it. And once again, the website down there's mindfluencerevolution.com. And I hate to jump off with you, but I know that you probably want to invite people to come on and become members of the Chiropractic Experts Network that are watching this. So if you guys are watching this and you think that it's something you'd like to jump on a call with us, we do a monthly call. And if you hashtag yes in the comments, we'll make sure that we invite you into it. If you guys are watching this on replay and you want to get on one of those calls with us, hashtag replay yes, and we'll make sure that we reach out to you personally and invite you onto one of those calls. And then you can get the opportunity to network with myself and with Dr. Matthew and talk to him about his great service that he does for the chiropractic profession, not only with the Chiropractic Experts Network group, but also with the Mindfluence Revolution systems that you have for team building and advancement with business. And with that being said, if people wanted to reach out to you, what does that look like and how can they reach out to you?
Basically, my email address is Dr. Norton, Dr. Norton at mindinfluencerevolution.com. You can also, my cell number is 559-307-0646. So I can be reached by email, by text, by call at any of those. You can certainly check out the website, learn more there. We've got a lot of different resources and thoughts. One last thing I would like to mention before we go, if
okay.
is that I know that the work I do, it can be standalone work, right? But part of why the Dental Experts Network, just to kind of reconnect those again before we end,
sure,
is I know that the work that I'm doing just ideally doesn't stand alone. It dovetails and interfaces with the great work of other people who are also serving the chiropractic profession and therefore serving the public for chiropractic. And so I'm very much interested not only, in the ways we can synergistically work together to explore ways to serve people at a higher level together. So yes, like everybody listening, or everybody that's in the group, we can do standalone contributions, right? But I think also, and there's absolute merit in all of that, but I think there's something even greater where as we keep exploring ways that we can work together to serve people at a higher level. So anyway. Thank you.
Yeah, and I love that there's structure. And I want to thank you again for bringing together such a high caliber group of people to make sure that we're consistent and that we're staying true to what our vision is and sticking together as a team. And I think that that's something we're all going to benefit from long term. So if you guys are interested in jumping on a call with us, we do a monthly Zoom call where we can all look at each other and wave to each other, and everybody gets a chance to speak and to talk about what makes them special in the chiropractic space and how they can help more people. And that's really one of the things that we're doing with these interviews is capturing this in a time capsule. So somebody says, hey, what does Matthew Norton do? I say, hey, well, I can send you to this awesome interview that Jim Chester hosted that explains to you exactly what Matthew Norton does and gives you a glimpse of who he is, so you can maybe build a relationship with him and then see if Mindfluence Revolution is something that you want to go forward and do. And if you want to join the Chiropractic Experts Network, we would be happy to have you. So once again, if you made it this far in the interview, hashtag yes if you want to join us on one of those calls. And if you're watching us on replay, hashtag yes or replay yes. So once again, thank you, Dr. Norton, for sharing today and to be a part of the Chiropractic Experts Network. I just want to say thank you for having me.
And thank you. And I appreciate you for all you do and your wonderful ability to connect people. So thank you.
Yeah. And I think that that's one of the greatest gifts is being able to influence the connectivity to the group. And that's something that I have kind of thrived in, kind of being a silent contributor, but also getting people to join the group, to be able to network and to be able to meet you. And I've seen what's happened with some of these relationships built and seeing how some of these people are going forward and helping each other outside the group. So that's really the kudos to the consistency.
Yeah. And greater things are coming. I just know it. So, all right.
Awesome. Well, I'm signing off here from Grand Junction, Colorado, and Matthew Norton is signing off over there from San Diego, California. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been watching. And if you guys did want to take us up on the opportunity, hashtag yes or replay yes, and we will reach out to you personally and invite you into our awesome group.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.